This is G Singh. This video is for individuals who are training extremely hard for their combative skills through internal martial arts, and they're using competitive training, or they're training competitively in order to make sure that their skill levels go up. These are individuals who are working on what the Western long palm boxing book talks about with regard to the 7th and 8th gated change. The 7th gated change is the altering of awareness using activities that stimulate or have firing all the modal realities or modalities, thinking, doing, and feeling, having that all fire insanely strongly at a high level altogether. And that is done through sparring, intense sparring, more intense, the more the consciousness is changed. And the opposite of that, of course, is stilling meditation, being able to still the body. And when these two things are mastered, something magical happens. The consciousness is altered to the point where that there is a cessation of physical senses. That means you really don't feel, or your existence, or your consciousness, your focus is no longer on your body, your physical body. It's on a different type of body. You are focusing on those things which are esoteric, those things which are hidden but very much vastly a part of who and what we all are. We are creatures of light. We are creatures of energy. We are creatures of boundless resource and boundless energy. And the Sanbao, which Nidan Nijia Gong adepts understand as the gathering of essence, which brought us here, and then taking the essence and refining it into energy, and then refining that energy into vitality for expression. This is an extremely important part of internal boxing. My particular way of ensuring, as a warrior, as a spiritual warrior, that I can reach all the goals that I've just mentioned is to put my Nidan skills, my Wing Chun, Tai Chi, Bagua, and traditional Chinese medicine and energetic medicine skills through the stilling moving meditation methods of Taoist and Vedic meditation, breathing meditation particularly. My way of doing this is to actually ensure that I restore my essence after every vigorous bout of exercise. This video will help individuals find a blueprint or design a blueprint for them based on 36 chambers, based on Qigong methods that are restorative for longevity. Please enjoy it, please study this, and please use this to help you. Bye-bye.
How you guys doing tonight? You guys seen all, you've been watching all of my high speed, or at least my desire to be high speed with regard to giving, taking, looking for, and getting up from ass whoopings in the areas of yoga, the areas of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and the areas of boxing, Western pugilistic boxing, also fencing in some cases. You've seen the growth of myself as a kind of a senior guy, beginning senior guy, getting ready to hit 60 in a few years. And you've watched me use my energetic medicine skills to keep myself, my essence, pretty much good to go, and to also exceed the expectations of my peers, with the proof of being able to hang with and work with repeatedly, even after quite a few defeats, quite a few put downs, and quite a few just intense training sessions. Keep the pace and recover from the whoopings and come back and learn more and get better. And this is the beginning of this journey that we're putting together. My brother Jonathan Diggory, who I guess I came at him a little hard when he asked about getting more internal internal with my presentations, especially in Temple Underground Revolution. We came at him pretty hard, but you know, he has a point. He wants to see me. Maybe he wants to see, if I look at it in a positive way, he wants to see some of the recovery methods that I use. And though I have put out a lot of videos on some good internal stuff, and a lot of guys do too, I'm one of the few guys out there that are actually really working real hard. There's a couple of cats doing it, but I'm out there working real hard, especially guys over 50, working really hard at you know, applying combative skills and applying the healing or the energetic medicine skills to make sure that I continue to maintain or gather my essence, and also to recover quickly and continue to train. I am on a 5-day training, 5 to 6 day training schedule. I would say I do probably about 3 hard days, maybe even, the sparring and everything with the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I would say it's at least 1, 2, 3, about 3 hard days of really hard training, of some good wajia. And then I have to have some recovery, I really do. If I do a double day, if I do a day like, you know, I do a morning training workout that's hard, and then an evening training workout that's hard that usually includes swimming, then I've got to recover the next day. And what do I use to recover immediately? Well, I use a combination of things, okay? Vedic and Taoist workouts, massages and breathing, retention, cessation of breath, and also alternate nasal breathing. Techniques to get myself through it. I'm going through a good allergy season right now, so my body's trying to phlegm up, but I'm resisting it very well through a lot of the training that I'm doing. My weaknesses right now are thanks to Dr. Love, who's been training me. My weaknesses right now are my yin wei my nighttime energy protection cycle. It's pretty weak. It's weak probably because I haven't been sleeping well because of the energy I'm putting up. So I've had to put myself in some really good sleeping trances to make sure I recover that. And that's probably why I got a little sniffle. So I'm not really sick that way, but I got the illness is in me, and I have to get it out. So anyway, I want to talk to you guys about a combination technique that I use of massage and breathing, based on Ashtanga yoga and based on the healing breaths, and a little bit of what I learned from Neil Wipsky with regard to the 18 Lohan massage technique, which I kind of already knew parts of, but it really enriched my knowledge and made me do more research to find out more. Of course, we have Dr. Love, who helps me out a lot with guiding my training of Qigong, and also you have my Dr. Foster from the traditional Chinese medicine place in Knoxville, traditional Chinese medicine clinic in Knoxville. He's helping me a lot with treatments. And then, of course, you just have some plain out, straight up knowledge, going out there and just learning stuff, working on stuff, and seeing what works for me. The blueprint is out there, but seeing what works. I'm going to run through some stuff that works for me. So the first thing I want to run through are these balls. Okay, I got a big one and a small one, but these are boating balls. This one's about 2 pounds, the other one's about 1 pound. I put them in both hands, okay? I do some silk reeling on the ground, or at least on the chair with it. Remembering, I am working mostly on my microcosmic orbit when it comes down to recovering essence. And that's what I'm really trying to do with these exercises, recover essence. This exercise does a lot. I breathe cleanly, I breathe smoothly. Sometimes I hold my breath, but mostly I breathe smoothly, and I allow myself to breathe as I am working my shoulders. The shoulder points are extremely important, especially those in the back of my shoulders, because these are the ones that are going to help me work on my yang wei mai, or my yang motility vessel work. So, my dog might be walking in front sometimes, and I'll tell him to stop. Just walk away. Sit, sit. Good boy. So, we're going to work on the first one. I put my hand behind my back and my kidneys, and I work doing the teacup. One breath out, breathing in. And so we've done all of the exercises, or at least a few of the exercises that I do with the balls. Silk reeling, you saw some of my chin style Tai Chi movements with it, and also some of the Chang Xing Bagua, which is the teacupping that you see working with it. And I try to do those exercises almost every time. It tends to clear out my nostrils, making sure I'm ready to do some breathing if I have to do some alternate nasal breathing. Next, I do some cleansing breath. When I do the cleansing breath techniques, okay, I do some Combative to get my body moving, to warm up, okay? And this is how I do it with some alternate nasal breathing. Now the breathing you saw me do between there was I did my Combative breathing. We saw a quick breath. The abdomen is moving so hard. You see the body kind of up and down and raise. And the second part you saw was Tumo, where I took a short breath in, and then held it, compressed it, and then took another breath. I took 8 of them before I held the breath for another count, and then released it for a count of 6 times 4, basically a 6-4 count. And I usually do a few more of those and work through it. But those are the techniques I do. That's going to warm up my body pretty good. My hands, if they were a little colder, they're probably kind of warm now. I still want to cool myself down because I have built up some heat. I don't want any inflammation, at least not that much. And it's cold, but I still want to do that. So in my technique, I go straight into a headstand. The headstands that I do, they're not that long, maybe a minute, but it cools things down, gets the blood going in a different direction, sends some toxins or some good stuff to my brain, gets me ready for my next part of the exercise, which is a massage. So I got through doing that technique. I did some good breathing. Oh, I'm sorry. Before I even started that, I'm going to do some alternate nasal breathing. So I'm going to do some really good depth, long breathing with each one. And I'm going to try to do the Tumo with each section. It'll help clean things out, warm it up. Tumo is a heating exercise. I do it because it's winter time. I also do it because it's actually the compression of the air and the control of it. It can be a fire breath if I get too deep into it, but it tends to relax me and it tends to keep the cold air in my body warm so I don't destroy my lungs. And in the winter time when it's getting cold, they're the lungs I want to protect. Tumo definitely protects your lungs. So go ahead, sit. Go, come, go. Sit. So we'll go to that one right now. A little bit of Combative to get me going. The beginning of the balancing effect has happened. I'm good to go. I'm ready to go into my cooling motion, which is my headstand. So the first thing I'm going to do with my headstand, I'm looking at a couch. So the first thing I used to do with my headstand is go into a handstand first, and then a headstand, and then I push my way back up. So if you have a couch, a comfortable couch that works, it's good because you keep the feet warm. Notice I'm in a simple pose, but most of my feet are underneath my thighs. It allows for a really good solid fit and also a good foundation. It just feels really good, and I can do a lot of things out of it. I don't mind doing the floor exercise. There's not a problem with that, but this one just makes things a little bit easier with regard to space. So we're going to our next motion. I take a deep breath. I'm still in vinyasa, so I take a deep breath. And I move forward. And I take the next breath. Open the legs. Next breath. Stretch them. And I do my handstand stand. Come down and do my headstand. Triangle on the breath again. Push myself back up. And then I come back into my seated posture. Feel a little cooler. Head's a little clearer. Again, I got a little stuff in this, but it's working for me. And I go into my massages. When I massage, I do a 36 count, okay, mantra. When I do my 36 count mantra, mine can be my Sikh mantra, which is These are 9 counts, and that tends to do well with me. It's a little longer count than the Kuchikiri, which is the 9 cuts, a combative type of mantra. But then again, I am trying to fight off disease, so, you know, I find a quiet balance. But that's also Rin Kyoto, Shak, Hygiene, exercise in. But there are 9. I do 4 sets of 9 in the massage. The massage itself is nice and smooth. I go clockwise and counterclockwise in 4 different directions around a joint or a leg. Sometimes just 3, but mostly it's 4. Okay, sometimes I will do 3. It depends on what I'm doing. So, 4, it depends on what I'm doing. So, we're going to start with the knees, then the thighs, okay? And then I'm going to go into the kidneys. I'll run through all of these so that you don't get too bored, but I do want you to catch on so you can do it yourself. I take a deep breath, and I do the massage in the count for the 36 counts. Then I release the breath. Then I do it the opposite direction. Then I release the breath. When I release the breath, I use the gasm transmitters that take place when I release breath from my diaphragm. I take it in from the diaphragm, the Ashtanga way, which is pulling in the stomach. I hold, and then I press the air, or press the energy down into my lower dantian, okay? Straighten the back, okay? And feel that power that comes from that, all right? Build it up. And then I let the air, as I hold the air, and I let it out the same way, nice and up the back. So normally when I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking mostly up the front, down the back, okay? And then the next one, the opposite direction, up the back, down the front. And this is how I do this exercise as best I can. With my training from Dr. Love, I know that I want to work the conception vessel, okay, which is the conception, the idea, thinking, feeling, and doing are conceived with the energies coming up the body from the front, okay, and then once I get to the front to the top, I can reverse that knowledge, I can release it down the back with the construction of a form that is allowing me to actually bring my ideas or what I can see into realism or physical reality. And I work on that as much as I can. I'm also aware of the fact that when I breathe in, okay, I want to tighten the anus. I want to breathe the abdomen. I want to press the air in once it's in, press it down, and bring the chin in, and bring the throat down. When the chin comes down, I control or close off the esophageal airway. When I do these three things, I am building my yin motility vessel. Okay, I'm building my ability to take punishment. Okay, whether it be illness or whether mostly actually with this one, this is a daytime thing. So I'm trying to resist incoming force, and these three things help me do that. It builds my yin energy, my yielding, which is it looks soft on the outside but very strong on the inside, hidden type of energy. So let's go do that right now with the massages. Please adhere. Now I move to my kidneys. I use my knuckles to massage clockwise and counterclockwise, and then I open my palms up. I take a deep breath, push it down to my lower dantian, and I do basically some tantras. I tantra my air back into my kidneys, okay? And it's a tilting of when the air is filled to the lower dantian, I tilt the tailbone and tuck the tailbone, so tilt the hips and tuck the tailbone, and it does wonders for me. Sit down. Sit. Sit. So let's start that right now. If you have some phlegm up there, it becomes saliva. You swallow it. When you swallow your saliva, push it down to the bottom of your dantian. Imagine it filling up your lower dantian. Very important, as low as you can get it. Okay. It's the sea of chi. Okay. So you want to lower it down to at least 4. Think of it going at least 4 fingers down to the sea of chi. 2 fingers down with the sea of blood. You want the sea of chi for this one. Okay. Next one. Okay. We're working towards. And I guess it wouldn't matter if you put it into both. So whatever you feel like the air is going to go, the energy should go into. Longevity can go into the blood. Longevity can go into the energy. Either one is fine. Okay. So unless I get more instruction from my instructors to get more definition to where it should go, but I push it down to those 2 areas, CV4 and CV2, and it works out fine. Okay. Next one is the turning, which is extremely important. I put my my left thumb in my right hand, push it onto my liver area. And I take that area and I take a deep breath. And as I take a deep breath, I look over to my left shoulder and I hold it for as long as I can. Bring it back down. I do that 3 times on one side. Actually, I do it 3 on one side and 3 on the other side. Once I've done that, those particular areas, there's some beating and so forth, but I go into the massage. Okay, so some guys like to beat along the side. That's the low hand way. I don't particularly do that, but I do like to do my massages. I massage the lower dantian, clockwise and counterclockwise using the 36 count method. I do the liver, and I do the spleen, and then I do the solar plexus. Those are the first 4 I do, and then I go to the chest. Once I go to the chest, the last one, before counterclockwise, I go into the 6 seated sounds. So the 6 healing sounds. Before making sure my hands are completely, basically full of chi and full of energy and blood. And then I do the massage of the brain in my upper dantian. So we'll begin that right now. I take a deep breath. at this point also, before I go to the heart, I do a figure-8 motion with my lower back. The figure-8 motion allows me to loosen that part of my spine. And I'll do the same thing with the upper middle back when I do my heart. And then, of course, I'll do it with my neck, same thing here. With my neck, okay, with the upper one. So here we go with the lower one. It's hard to see. Just trust that I'm moving my back in this type of motion. Now middle back. Upper back just below the neck. Normally after this, I could do a handstand, but if time doesn't permit, or if I'm trying to move things along, I just go straight into the headstand and do my breathing there, and then come on back and do my next set of exercises. There'll be 3 headstands in all for all of this. Before I get to this one, it's going to be the 6 healing sounds and moving on to it. So I'm sorry, after this. So here we go. On the vinyasa breath. That's the sure sound. 36 on the thumb. Middle finger, 36 counts. The whistle. Ring finger. Forefinger. Next is blowing. Pinkies. These are claps. Claps are 36. You rub, but you have third count for 36. Left, right side, and then center. Then you cup the eyes. When you cup the eyes, you do the breathing out. When you breathe out, imagine the energy coming. You'll feel it coming out of your palms. And then when you breathe in, you imagine it going inside of your eyes. While you're doing this, you massage 36 times this way, and 36 times that way. Cheeks. Jawbone. The last one were ears, cheeks, jawbones, and then ears. Then you do the patting of the fingers in the back of the neck, middle finger, and then pointer finger first, second, and then reverse that. 36 counts each one. Then the next one you move towards, be quiet, come, sit. Come sit now. Come sit. Good boy. Come sit. Sit down. Next motion that we have, okay, will be the stretches. Go sit down, make a move, go sit down. Next I massage the shoulders, usually doing the same count of breathing, but my dogs are downstairs, so I'm going to have to move a little faster. Then, while I'm doing the massage, I'm also massaging my, what do you call it, point? My my spleen point, okay, which is across the nipple around the rib cage. I'm doing something, Deb, so I can't do anything. On the rib cage. After I go sit down. After I get to sit down, everyone sit, come, sit. Sit! Next motion that I guess I can do that rib cage is I'm going through the rib cage ones. Then I'm going to go through the massage of the shoulder. massage the shoulder. 36. Once I'm done with these motions here, I'm scraping downward. 36 times. 36 count. 36 count. 36 count. 36 count. 36 count. Once this is done, I normally go through my Rinpyo Toshai Kaijin exercise in all of my 36 chambers. Go sit down. Go sit down. All the 36, go sit down. Go sit down. All 36 chambers. Okay? Once the 36 chambers are taken care of, okay, with the motions, I get it down to the bottom here. Take a deep breath in. Six chambers there, 36 count here, no air, left from top to right. And I'm usually done. I finish off with a headstand, and I'm done for the exercise. So, you've got all the necessary motions you need for my type of recovery. On this recovery, it's great. The also great thing about it is you're in the seated position for quite a long time, okay? And this also helps with your stilling meditation. I sure hope this really helped inform you on how I do my recovery, at least in explaining it. And this is one of my recovery techniques, and it works. It circulates my chi, it gathers my essence. Right after I get through the last headstand, I usually go into a meditative state. Normally I do meditation, which really gets things going. Or I will do a tumo. Either one, or intermingling of the both. Either one is fine. Natural recovery is just alternate nasal breathing as often as possible during the day. I normally get up to over 300 cycles a day, up to and over 300 cycles a day of alternate nasal breathing or retentions and suspensions, and it's showing. I don't run up and down hills as much as I used to. I don't do a lot of hardcore Wajia cardio to prepare myself for cardio. I actually do more nasia going, more breathing exercises than I do anything else preparing myself for sparring. So there you have it, and hopefully it works for you. Hopefully you can find parts of it that you can put inside of your own training regimen, and I appreciate it. Have a great night, and hopefully you'll see this, learn from it, and be able to use it. Bye-bye.